stretch of the imagination, Steve from Blue's Clues, before he went to college, makes it into Fortnite, then I will play it. But seeing as that will never, ever happen, I'm never, ever going to play Fortnite. Okay? I hope someone clips that, because I will stand by that statement.
It is so fucking funny how often it's that clip that I transition off of when I actually start. And I will say yet again, I still stand by that statement. Until Steve from Blue's Clues makes it into Fortnite, I will never, ever play Fortnite. But you know what I will play? I will finally finish Samuel Dwyer's Divorce Papers 4 with the final episode, Dwyer's Turnabout. All right. Without further ado, webcam, no webcam, because I was in a bit of a rush because I was late already, and I did not have time to put my camera back in its usual space. So, unfortunately, for this final part, the best I can do is just my voice. The Stone Age. He should be here any minute now. You must be the person I'm meeting with. It would appear I am. And do you know why I called you here? Yes, we need to find a way to bring everyone back and stop Dwyer. Bingo, right on the money. After Dwyer snapped, he went into hiding. Prosecutor Corday and Prosecutor Evans told the world of who was responsible. Some believed them, and some didn't, for there was no proof. Regardless, even after a few weeks, Dwyer hasn't been found. He needs to come back to the courtroom. And from there, we need to expose him right then and there. Why should I trust you? Aren't you the person that told him about the stones in the first place? Unfortunately, yes. I really shouldn't have. However, I didn't picture this happening, so this is all my fault. Okay, well, first things first. What is your name? I'll go by Corte. But you aren't Prosecutor Corte, are you? No, I'm not. It's just an alias. I'm not giving away my real name. Fine, but how are we going to stop Dwyer? I have a plan, but it is risky. It'll just have to work. August 16th, 2021. Corte. Okay, Corte, okay. It's been about 4 weeks since the snap, and I'm now in a courtroom. I didn't think I would be in one. The court is going to feel different today, and this trial is not going to be going the way it should. I'm going to have to face him. He's made a name for himself, but I truly don't know how this is going to end. It would seem that Mr. Stevens is on trial again. Unfortunately, I wish he wasn't caught up in all of this. Robbie didn't kill the victim, and the prosecution will surely target him. I, again, wish this didn't turn out the way it did. But I have no other options at the moment. It's time to enter the beginning of the trial, one last and final time. I will never feel this feeling again. Okay.
Hello. Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Robert Stevens. I stand here in place today for my brother, Owen Madigan. 4 weeks ago, all married couples vanished from existence. One member of the court today has allegations thrown at him for causing the vanishes. As a judge, I do not believe this man caused the married couples to vanish. There is no proof for these claims, and I do not want these allegations brought up, especially when it relates to the man that used to sit in this chair before me. Now, will the defense please come to the defense bench?
The defense is ready, Your Honor.
Defense, it says here that you go by Corte, correct?
Yes, and before you ask, I am not related to Prosecutor Corte.
I understand, and this is the first I have seen you, so welcome. Finally, will the prosecution please come to the prosecution bench?
The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. I intend with all that I have to prove the defendant guilty. Okay, I didn't read that wrong. Samuel Dwyer, the one responsible for killing billions of innocent people just because he could. I have to find a way to stop him during this trial.
Mr. Dwyer, I was not under the impression that you would be on that side during the trial. You are not a prosecutor.
I don't care.
I'm sorry?
I need to prosecute this trial. End of story. And I believe the defense has no objections? None. There's nothing wrong with the trial.
Very well. Bailiff, bring the defendant to the stand.
Oh God, it's this guy again.
Witness, state your name and occupation.
Robbie Stevens, waiter at Buffalo Wild Wings. I previously worked at a rock climbing gym, but that was a while ago. I am disgusted at you, Mr. Stevens. Samuel, you gotta believe me. I didn't kill him. I would've— Shut the fuck up! I don't want to hear it. Bailiff, get this man off the stand, now. I do not want him in my field of vision.
My apologies, Mr. Dwyer. I should not have called him to the stand.
Yes, you shouldn't have. He's putting on quite the show already. Your Honor, may I begin my opening statement?
Yes, of course, Mr. Dwyer.
Thank you, Your Honor. Our crime scene takes place at Buffalo Wild Wings, the same one that contains my law office in the corner of the restaurant. Oh, so like a Jimmy McGill type beat. And while it pains me to say this, the victim of this murder was Matthew Mensah, an attorney that worked at the office. Here is the victim's autopsy report.
Matthew Mensah, one of the best lawyers this court has seen. I'm sorry for the loss of your friend, Mr. Dwyer. I can understand why you want to prosecute this trial.
Thank you, Your Honor. I also have here the floor plans of the restaurant in question.
The court accepts this evidence.
Okay. As you can see, my office is at the top right of the map. This is where Matt's body was found by Mr. Stevens. So it was Robbie that found the body? Yes, he has attested to this, and we have evidence to back up this claim. I've seen cases where the body was moved and some trick was pulled off. So what's to say that this hasn't occurred in this case? As you can see, Your Honor, Corti is already trying to get the upper hand. The body was found in my office, correct? My office door has a scanner that will only let people with access in, both to get in and get out. It's not likely that the body was moved. Plus, this is a restaurant we're talking about. Eyes everywhere. That is all for my opening statement, Your Honor. For now, I call the detective on the case to give us more details.
Very well. Bailiff, bring this witness to the stand. Hello. Witness, state your name and occupation.
Alexander Polt, Your Honor. I'm the lead detective on the case.
I imagine you have been quite busy lately, correct, detective?
Yes, actually. After I've been struggling to maintain peace and order, and you never know if anything will happen again.
Detective, tell us more about the case.
All right, Mr. Dwyer. After all, you are the prosecutor here.
Witness, give your testimony about the case at hand.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Mensah was stabbed in Dwyer's office with a knife. The knife was found still in the victim and was used to stab the victim twice. It could only have been Robbie because of the scanner to get in the room. He said he entered the room to see if you were there, Mr. Dwyer. He claims when he saw the body, he left immediately to call the police. We got there, and there was no trace of blood anywhere on the scene.
No trace of blood anywhere on the scene. Usually, when people get stabbed, a lot of blood happens. So, if there was no blood on the scene, that can't be where the stabbing happened.
You keep talking about a scanner that is used to enter the room. Do you have a record of who used the scanner?
You aided the blood? Griffers? That's double detention. Yes, Your Honor. We have it right here. Swipe record. Okay. If you look at the record, Robbie entered the room after Mensei. After he stabbed him, he immediately left and acted like he just discovered the body. Along with the record, I would also like to submit the murder weapon.
The court accepts this piece of evidence.
Bears no How convenient that it doesn't bear any fingerprints. So whoever did it was smart and wore gloves.
Go ahead with your cross-examination, Corty.
Yes, Your Honor.
Hello, Alex.
Okay. Let's press this. And by knife, you mean the weapon that was just submitted to the court record?
That's right. What about it?
What if the weapon found at the scene is not the murder weapon? We have conclusive evidence that this knife is the weapon that killed my friend. I mean, Mr. Mensei. The victim's blood being on the knife, the wounds match that of the knife's blade, and since there were 2 wounds, I would find it hard to make those without a stabbing.
The prosecution has a point, defense.
Where's the face cam today? Actually, yeah. Samuel has it right on the money there. My face melted off today, so no face cam. There's probably not going to be a face cam until I buy a new face from the face store.
Maybe think before you ask a pointless question.
Yes, Your Honor.
Knife was found still in the victim and was used to stab the victim twice.
Detective, there's something that strikes me here.
And what might that be?
Why the 2 stabbings? Why not just stab once? I mean, I feel like there's no point. Amateur, are you seriously asking that? The killer had to make sure the victim was dead. Do we know if the victim died before the second stabbing?
The victim died after the second stabbing. So in other words, he was alive a little bit before the second wound was created.
And detective, do we know how long the victim survived after the first wound was created?
Not long. Maybe 30 seconds at most. It must have happened quickly.
Last time I checked, Mr. Stevens entered and left the room quickly as well. He has a point. This isn't looking good for Robbie. The scanner to get in the room, huh? Let's take a look. Okay, so we have Samuel Dwyer going in and out in the morning. David Loxer going in and out in the afternoon. Matthew going in. Robbie going in and out within the same minute. Yeah, that does kind of check out. Let's take a look at the... Excuse me. Let's take a look at the floor plans. Okay, I have the feeling that this is going to come into play in terms of line of sight later on. So, let's take a look at this. Stab in the chest, 2 knife wounds. A badge I made to fool the judge into thinking I'm a defense lawyer. Interesting. Okay, so it couldn't have been David unless, by some stretch of the imagination, he was in the room already before Samuel Dwyer even scanned to enter, left at 2:16 to go use the bathroom, then came back to wait even longer. but I don't think that's the case. Okay, so can't really use any evidence here. Let's just press. So this scanner in question, only certain people can access it, right? I'll take the question, Detective. It's my office, after all. My office door has a scanner on both sides, but can only register when a card is used. Because of this, we cannot determine what side of the door the scanner was used on. But that doesn't really matter, since everyone seems to be accounted for to have left. Only myself, Robbie, Mensei, my deceased friend Zach, and my secretary can enter.
Everything Dwyer just said was right. We can't confirm the detail of what side a card was used on.
This seems important. I better make sure to remember that. I will promptly forget it.
He said he entered the room to see if you were there, Mr. Dwyer.
100% not true. He went to the office to kill Mr. Mensei.
Prosecutor Dwyer, you are not allowed to talk during the cross-examination. You are currently not on the side that questions the witness. Defense, continue.
Well, let me think. Looking at the scanner record, it does indeed say you were there that day, Mr. Dwyer. Did Robbie end up not seeing you? No, he did not. I had to get something from the office, and I went there when the restaurant was just opening. I didn't want to go with the crowd, especially after the allegations about me were brought up.
If I may intrude, Robbie heard from a fellow staff member that someone saw Dwyer leave the restaurant earlier. I would assume this prompted him to look for you in your office.
That would make sense, since Robbie was worried about his friend, Mr. Dwyer. I don't buy that. Mr. Stevens entered my office to kill Mensei. It's as simple as that.
He claims when he saw the body, he left immediately to call the police.
And this is confirmed through the scanner report, correct?
Yup, you got that right, defense.
It's only half right.
What do you mean, Prosecutor Dwyer?
If he entered and immediately left, there's a certain piece of evidence that contradicts that.
And what might that be, Prosecutor Dwyer?
The scanner report, more specifically Robbie's ID being used twice. If he claims to have seen the body and left immediately, why are there 2 swipes registered?
You have a point. If the defendant saw the body immediately, then the door was still open as he entered, thus he wouldn't need to scan it again.
My point exactly, Your Honor.
I must say, Prosecutor Dwyer, you are tackling this case like a defense lawyer. Contradicting testimony using evidence is something a prosecutor doesn't do.
I'll take that as a compliment.
We got there, and there was no trace of blood anywhere on the scene.
I have a feeling I need to bring this up here.
Huh?
Oh, I need to press E. Oh, never mind. I guess I'm wrong. But if he died of blood loss and there was no blood on the scene... I guess I press the last one? Is that true? Left immediately to call the police. Got there, no trace of blood anywhere else on the scene. I imagine you did luminol testing, correct?
Yup, and thankfully nothing was found.
The only blood found was on the victim, seeping out of the first wound. Because the knife was still in the second wound, no blood was seeping from it. That's not really how it works. Some still comes out. Office with a knife. Let's try presenting.
I can't read that. It's too small, but thank you for the follow.
Oh, Sir Quackles. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. This is the part of the show where I start to bang my head on a brick wall until it falls down. Office with a knife. Oops. That's not the button I meant to press. It's been a long time since I've seen that word in my Twitch chat. God, I'm old. Call it a hunch. But I think there's a robot in my chat. Before I send a tactical nuke inbound on this robot, I'm gonna need everyone to point and laugh at the robot. Bye-bye. Okay, now everyone together now. Point and laugh at the robot. Okay, now I gotta figure this out. Still on the victim and was used to stab the victim twice. It only had been Robbie because of the scanner to get in the room. Entered the room to see if you were there. Claims when he saw the body, he left immediately to call the police. Maybe? No. No. Hint? Yeah, I'll take a hint. What piece of evidence do I need to bring up? Let's take a look. I don't think it's the autopsy report. Scanner? Okay. Scanner. Knife was found still in the victim and was used to stab the victim. I wouldn't bring that up here. I think it's here. Your Honor, if you would please do me a favor and look at the scanner report. In it, we can see the times that were registered for the day. This is information we already know. What if someone swiped to make us think they left the room?
Explain, Corty.
We have heard that this swipe record doesn't contain what side the card was used on. The killer could easily just swipe his card and make it seem like he left. But everyone except Mency is accounted for. He's the only one that didn't leave. You're looking at this backwards, Mr. Dwyer. What if Mr. Mency's name being registered wasn't when he entered the room? What if it was someone else used his card to leave the room and acted like Mr. Mency entered the room? If that's the case, then Mency shouldn't even be in the room. Only one swipe was registered. He could have just walked in with someone else. The person registered before him could have held the door open for him. Thus, Mr. Mency not needing his card to swipe in the office. In that instance, yes, Mr. Mency wouldn't need his ID to get into the office. And with that, it leaves the person that entered the main suspect. He killed Mr. Mency and swiped his ID to make it look like he left the room. He waited a little bit so it wouldn't be suspicious on the record. He then used Mency's ID to leave, all to impersonate him now just walking into the room.
Oh my, with that logic it all makes sense. The killer took advantage of the swipe system and made it look like Mency arrived later. Does the prosecution have anything to say to this?
That's what you could come up with, Mr. Corty? I thought you were smarter than that. What do you mean? I'm glad I didn't follow your plan. Clearly, you don't think things through.
What are you talking about, Prosecutor Dwyer?
You had to be there, Your Honor. Regardless, Mr. Corty's logic is all wrong.
Explain to the court what you mean, Prosecutor Dwyer.
Very well. Now, Mr. Corti, could you explain to me the position Mr. Mensah had at my office? He was a high-ranking attorney, essentially your mentor. Very good. Someone has done their reading. The office was originally his until I took over. He wasn't just any old average worker. And with that, he's very uptight about the policy of clocking in and clocking out. While we don't have a record of this, though, we use the swipe report. You use the swipe report as in front of your office? Yes. After all, it would tell us who is in the office or not. So, throw away your theory of someone holding the door open for him. He would never let that happen. That didn't go so well, but he has a point. Another reason why Mr. Mensah's register was from him when he entered. There's more? Yes. Did you think I went into this trial without thinking this possibility, Mr. Corti? Well, regardless, I have a question for Detective Polt. Who, me? You're the only detective in the room, and the only Polt in the room as well. I guess you have a point. Mr. Polt, where was Mensah's ID at? Oh no, please say something other than on his person. It was in his pocket when we found the body. So that means someone couldn't have used it to leave the office. Damn it. Of course he just had to say that. Even if those pieces of evidence are faulty, there's more to turn down your theory, Corti. More? Yes, I think this is the most conclusive one. At 2:15, Mensah sent out an email to the people at the office. In it, it says that he would be at the office at 2:45 briefly. This is enough proof that Mensah entered the office with his own ID at 2:45. Am I clear, Corti? Yes, I guess you are. I'm gonna strangle him right now.
Prosecutor Dwyer, if you would be so kind to submit that email to the court.
I have it here on this flash drive. Okay, new piece of evidence. Now, I would request a new witness to the stand. Wait, you have a witness? Yes. This witness saw Mensah enter the office alone and saw Robbie enter soon after.
Very well, Detective Polt. You can leave the stand. Bailiff, bring the witness to the stand.
Oh, it's this guy.
Witness, state your name and occupation.
Patrick Dwyer, bartender at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Dwyer? Are you telling me that you are related to the prosecution?
No, I'm not, Your Honor. It's just a happenstance. Yeah, me and him are not related in the slightest. Long time no see, Mr. Dwyer. How have you been? It's only been 2.5 months, Patrick. And considering allegations have been thrown at me, causing me to go into hiding, I've been fine at best. Oh, well, I'm sorry to hear that.
Witness, please describe to us the events that happened yesterday.
Yes, Your Honor.
Testimony time.
I was working at the bar on the west side of the restaurant all day yesterday. Mensah came around 2 p.m. and sat down there for a good while. He had a few drinks, never once looked at his phone, and talked with me for a little bit. After that, he thanked me for the service and walked to Dwyer's office at 2:45. No one entered with him, and the next person to enter was Robbie about 3 minutes later. Yep, I know what it is. It's the email when he talks about when he entered the room. Apparently, Your Honor, gives me chills just thinking about it. If this testimony isn't conclusive proof, then I don't know what else is. What do you mean, Dwyer? Mensah entered alone, and Robbie a mere few minutes after. Your Honor, hand down the goddamn guilty verdict now.
Order, order! Mr. Dwyer, while I understand your concern, you have no authority over my ruling. While that tactic may have worked on my brother, it will not work on me. Are we clear?
The prosecution understands.
Very well. Witness, before we start the cross-examination, did the victim say anything out of the ordinary?
I don't think so. He just acted like a normal customer. I didn't realize it was Mr. Mensah until like 5 minutes into our conversation.
You didn't realize? What do you mean?
Mency got injured in a car crash about a few months prior, and his eyesight got all jank. He has a visor on his head to help him see. Didn't realize it was him.
Now that you mention it, I remember hearing about that. Corty, you may begin your cross-examination.
Yes, Your Honor. Working at the bar. Came in around 2 p.m. and sat down there for a good while. He had a few drinks, never once looked at his phone, and talked with me for a little bit. Damn it. Pressed the wrong button. Okay. Patrick, I need you to verify something to the court for me. Yeah, sure. What's up? Mency never looked at his phone. That's impossible. Corty, make sure you have the evidence to back up your claim.
I agree, defense. I don't understand how and why the witness would lie about this detail.
Yeah, I'm telling the truth. I didn't see him once on his phone. I pay attention to my customers. This line of questioning will get us nowhere. Clearly the witness isn't lying. Regardless if he knows it or not, Patrick's testimony is faulty. You claim that Mency was never on his phone once, correct? And that he was at the bar from 2 p.m. to 2:45, correct? Yeah, that sounds about right. Huh, that's strange. Then I have one more thing for you to explain to me. How did Mency send this email at 2:15 on the day of the murder? What?
Order! Order!
I'm sorry, Patrick, but Mency had to be on his phone to send that email. If he sent out an email at 2:15 when he was at the bar, he had to have been on his phone. Explain this contradiction. The witness doesn't need to do such thing. I disagree, Mr. Dwyer. This could be pivotal to the case. Witness, answer the question. Well, so you see, I'm telling you the truth. I didn't see him once on his phone. If that's the truth, then someone else had to have sent that email. And if that's the case, it's possible that Mency didn't write it as well. You have no proof that Mency didn't write this email. All we know is that the sender was Mency's address, which should be enough to say that it was him. Then how do you explain the contradiction here? It's a simple slip-up. Patrick missed the moment he went on his phone. Right, Patrick? I guess so. I guess that's what happened. You're the prosecutor here, so I'll trust you. Damn it, I was getting to where I wanted to go. But I have no proof that Mency didn't send the email.
Witness, you have given us testimony about what the witness did before he entered the office. Can you tell us about what happened while he went to the office?
Yeah, sure, I can do that.
I am quite hungry and desire a chicken wrap. The court will resume in 20 minutes.
August 16th, 2021, 11:03 a.m., Lobby 3. Dwyer's not letting this trial go in my favor, but I do know that this trial is being hard on him. So far, everything seems to be going as planned. It's been a while since I felt this. Last time I felt this adrenaline was when I first confronted Dwyer. I still cannot believe we ended up killing Mr. Gubser, just so that Zach could be released, so he would become Dwyer's partner. Even I still don't understand his motive. It was completely stupid. Hello, Mr. Stevens. How are you doing? I'm doing all right, I guess. Dwyer sure is going for my head, though. I didn't kill the guy. I would never do that. I just happened to once again find a deceased body. Like Among Us. I know, and I am sorry. But I know you aren't the killer, Robbie. I believe that. Thanks, Corty. By the way, I feel like I've seen you before. No, I don't think we've ever met, Robbie. Huh. Strange. The recess is about to end. I'll see you in there, Robbie. You as well, Corty. I'm praying Patrick's testimony can help me go in the right direction.
It's all or nothing in this trial.
August 16th, 2021, 11:10 a.m., Courtroom 3.
Hello. Court is now back in session for the trial of Mr. Robert Stephens. Before we left, we were hearing the testimony of Patrick Dwyer. We have discovered a contradiction involving the victim's cell phone usage. This, however, was turned down by the fact that the witness simply missed the victim's actions. Can the witness, Patrick Dwyer, please come back to the stand?
Hello, Patrick.
Now, witness, we have already heard your testimony about the facts before the victim left the bar. Can you tell us what happened when the victim got up from the bar?
You bet I can.
Then, witness, please describe to us the events that happened.
Yes, Your Honor.
Testimony time.
Mensah left his bar seat at exactly 2:18 yesterday. He walked into the kitchen, and I didn't see him for a good while after that. After he left, I was looking at the entrance to Dwyer's office till I saw Mensah again. Mensah came out of the kitchen at around 2:45, and he entered Dwyer's office. The only people that I saw interact with that door before that door were both Mensah and Robbie. Okay, so I have a feeling that I need to bring in the floor plan. If this testimony isn't conclusive proof, then I don't know what else is. Patrick says no one other than Mensah and Robbie entered. Admit defeat, Corty.
The prosecution is right, defense. You better blow my socks off from this cross-examination.
Yes, Your Honor. Alright, let's see. Just bar seat exactly 2:18. Let's press this. Why do you know the exact time? That's so specific. I remember asking him what time it was, and he responded with that time. And to assume he left after answering this question? Yeah, after he gave me the time, he thanked me for the drinks and left. I hope me asking that question didn't cause him to leave. I was just asking a simple question. I don't think you turned the customer away, Patrick. Walked in the kitchen and seen him for a good while after that. So I'm to assume the victim was in the kitchen from 2:18 to 2:45? Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. And what side did the victim go into the kitchen? I'm looking here and there's multiple entrances. He entered on the west side, the side I can see from the bar. There's also something else I noticed. The murder weapon came from the kitchen, correct? Yes, it did. The employees said they were missing a knife after the murder happened. And it just so happens that the knife in question is a Buffalo Wild Wings knife. What's your point, Corty? Patrick, did you see the victim leave the kitchen with the knife in question? I didn't see him carry a knife, but it's possible to just conceal it. What's your point? Oh. Yeah, that's all he said. Leading us to believe he entered the kitchen at some point. If for whatever reason Mensah took the knife, it throws that possibility out the window. It's just something I'm keeping at the back of my mind. If Mensah took the knife to the office, Robbie could just stab him without entering the kitchen. Yeah, I've realized that. Yes, the ubiquitous Buffalo Wild Wings knife. Now I have to blow my nose. Excuse me real quick. Okay, and we're back. After he left, I was looking at the entrance to Dwyer's office till I saw Mensah again. Mincy came out of that kitchen around 2:45, and he entered Dwyer's office. The only people that I saw interact with that door were both Mincy and Robbie. Okay. Came out of the kitchen, entered Dwyer's office. Let's take a look at the floor plans. Check it. Okay, so he entered on the west side. Okay, I'm assuming the bar is on the left side here. So yeah, all of these are within sight. I'm pretty sure I have to bring up the floor plans. I'm just not sure at what point. Hang on. No, that checks out. Okay, that checks out. Or maybe I need to bring up the knife. I haven't brought up the knife yet. Let me take a look. Kitchen didn't seem for a good while after that. 218. Okay, so not there. Let's press this again. Okay, we already talked about this. Blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. Okay, okay. This is a tough one. Most definitely. See him carry a knife, but it's possible to just conceal it. So the knife most likely did come from the kitchen. Just where would I bring that up? That's the question. Looking at the entrance to Dwyer's office till I saw Mincy again. Mincy came out of the kitchen around 2:45, entered Dwyer's office. Only people that I saw interact with that door were both Mincy and Robbie. Have I pressed this yet? Let's see. Why were you looking at Dwyer's office? Well, the job gets boring after a while, and I had no customers, as I've said. It just so happens to be in my line of sight. I want to press all these first, and if I still can't figure it out, then yeah, I'll take a hint. Is it possible you glanced away from the office for a brief moment? The witness says that he looked there the whole time. Are you doubting him? I'm not doubting him, but the last time he claimed to look at something the whole time, that turned out to be false. Right, witness?
He does have a point, and I imagine you are talking about Mensei's phone usage.
Look, that might have been a slip-up, but I saw no one enter or leave Dwyer's office. That is until you saw Mensei again, right? Yes, and I saw him around 2:45 leaving the kitchen. Wait. Hold up. Wait a minute. If that's true, then he should have seen David Lockster leave the office. Walked into the kitchen. Okay. Left the bar seat exactly two. Okay, yeah, that didn't seem for a good while. After he left, I was looking at the entrance to Dwyer's office till I saw Mincy again. No, what? You have a surprise for me. Is it an IED in my mailbox? Exactly 218. If it's not an ID in my mailbox, I can't see the practicality of it. Yeah, it has to be this that I'm bringing up. It's just a matter of where. Yes, I too love mailbox surprises, especially when they put me in the hospital. Dwyer, I'm on the right track here, right? Went to the kitchen to enter Dwyer's office. Oh, here it is. This is where I bring it up. Patrick, you are claiming that you were looking at the office door the whole time, correct? Yep, never took my eyes off it once. I'm afraid that's where you're wrong, Patrick. That's impossible. Everything in court is held up by evidence. You better have some.
I agree, defense. What evidence do you have to present about this line of questioning?
You claim that what? You claim that no one used the office door from when Mensei left the bar. You claim that no one used the office door from when Mensei left the bar to when he entered the office. Laney Ray. Oh, are you using your channel points for so I'll Ooh. Miscellaneous rating my stream? What the freak? I never thought that something like this would happen to me. Thank you so much, Missy. How was your stream? Why didn't the space button work? Okay, here we go. Well, welcome to the stream, everyone. We are playing a little-known gem of a game called Divorce Papers 4. Finish Metroid Prime? Is that... Shoot, I haven't played any of those games. Are those any good? Alex, am I in danger? Well, here's the thing about that. Technically, this isn't Ace Attorney, although it does look a lot like it. This was a fan project that what's his Twitch username? That Samuel SD7 made, recreated the entire Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney engine in Unity, and used it to put together this story of a game. We've played through the first 4 chapters already. We're working on the 5th right now. One Jade Zombie, thank you for the follow. Yes, 10-month project. I didn't even know it at the time, but I was like watching him develop this in class. It was awesome. Miscellaneous, thank you for the follow. This is so awesome. This is the greatest thing to happen since the last great thing that ever happened. Crazy Riot 911, thank you for the follow. It's Ace of Hearts, thank you for the follow. That means that from 2:18 to 2:45, no one used the office door. Prosecutor Dwyer, can you look at the scanner report for me? I'm reading it right now. I don't understand what You have got to be kidding me. As I'm sure the prosecution just discovered, someone indeed used the office door between 2:18 and 2:45. The scanner report proves that. Aw, thank you, Alex. You're gonna make me blush. It's a good thing I don't have my camera on, so you don't have to look at it. I'm sorry, Patrick, but you may need to check your eyesight, because someone did use that door. We have here at 2:20, Mr. David Lockster used the door. Yes, I will definitely be streaming Divorce Papers 5 once it comes out. I probably shouldn't say what I was about to say, actually, because I want that to be a surprise. But, yes, I am very excited to stream Divorce Papers 5 once that comes out. And actually, I won't be able to cover it in this stream, but I have been sent the documentation for Divorce Papers 1 through 3. I will discuss that more once we are done with Chapter 5, so stick around, though. You know what? That is a noble cause to lurk for. Ice cream. I don't get what this has to do with the case at hand, Corty. I disagree, Mr. Dwyer. This explains a lot. Witness, you claim that you saw no one leave the office, correct?
Yes, I still believe that.
From my understanding, you can use the scanner and not use the door in the office, correct?
Why would anyone do that, Corty?
Maybe because they were going to commit murder. What if it's possible that this David Lockster didn't actually leave the office?
What?
David Lockster could have swiped his card and stayed in the office till Mency arrived minutes later. This would explain Patrick not seeing anyone leave the office.
What?
Ooh, mumble, mumble, rumble, rumble. Order, order! Defense, are you claiming that Mr. David Lockster is the murderer of Mr. Matthew Mency?
No, I'm just saying that it's a possibility, nothing more. There's not enough evidence to claim that he is the killer or not.
Then what now, defense? Because clearly you believe it was him that did the deed.
Witness, I believe you can leave the stand. I feel as though a new witness is going to take the stand.
Yes, Your Honor.
Prosecutor Dwyer, who are you calling to the stand?
I don't believe you should be asking me that question, Your Honor. I believe the defense should answer that question.
I see. Then defense, who will you call to the stand?
Who do I want to call this to the stand? I need more information about the scene of the crime and what really happened. Would calling Lockster really help? I have no concrete evidence against him.
Call it a hunch. I think it would be more productive to call Robert to the stand.
The defense requests Mr. Stephens to the stand. We have never heard his side of the story, and it could help the case.
You do realize, Corty, that bringing the defendant to the stand is a dangerous act, right? You will surely expose any lies that he throws at us, and that will lead to a guilty verdict.
Whatever it takes to find the truth. My opinion on the matter has not changed.
Very well. Then the prosecution as well requests Mr. Stephens to the stand.
Very well. Bailiff, bring Mr. Robert Stephens to the stand.
Look at this dude.
Witness, you have already stated to the court your name and occupation at the beginning. Both sides request that you tell us about the events that happened. Can you do this for us?
I'll try my best, Your Honor. As the court has said before, I was curious about Dwyer's disappearance. I wanted to see if he was in his office at the restaurant. I opened the office door at about 2:45. I immediately saw Mency's body before the door could close. I booked it out of there and notified the first person I could see.
Oh, no, no, no. Why did you have to say you booked it before the door closed?
I'm sorry, Mr. Stephens, but this knowledge has already been given to us.
Look, it's the truth. That's all that happened. That is false. That is not what happened at all. I know I'm not the defense, but I already see a contradiction. I'll let Corty figure it out for himself. Very well, Dwyer.
Yep, I know what it is. I know what it is. It's the scan. It's the scanner. Curious about Dwyer's. Nope, not here. Not here. Immediately saw Mency's body before the door could close.
Robbie, I'm sorry, but you have been lying to the court. I have?
Yes, you have, Mr. Stephens, and I'm glad Corty caught on. If we look at the scanner report, you will notice that you have 2 logins, Mr. Stephens. If you claim to immediately have seen the body, then the door would still be open when you left. Yet, the scanner proves otherwise, Mr. Stephens.
Way to steal my thunder, Prosecutor Dwyer.
Yes, I agree with what Samuel has posed to the Twitch chat. How are my viewers doing on this fine day?
Slip of the tongue. Yes, it did. Then why did you lie?
Then why did you lie to the court?
I didn't lie. I said I saw the body before the door closed. I was still in the room when the door closed, but I was in there for a max 15 seconds.
The defendant was in shock. It's understandable that he stood there for a little bit.
The defendant was in the room for 20 seconds because he stabbed my friend twice.
I don't think this will get us anywhere. Mr. Stephens, I want you to give one more testimony. I want you to talk about what you saw when you entered the room.
Yes, Your Honor.
More testimony time.
Yes, the door closed behind me when I entered the office. I, however, didn't move from the doorway, so I couldn't see much. What I did see, though, was Mency in a chair with 2 knife wounds in him. Those wounds were in his chest, seeping with blood. That's all I have on the matter, nothing more.
I changed my mind. I don't know why I had you give another testimony. You once again gave a testimony that didn't help anything.
You're asking too much from me, B. I gave you the information about what I saw.
Then, Corty, have at it.
Yes, Your Honor. Door closed behind me. Didn't move from the doorway. Mency in a chair with 2 knife wounds in him. Wounds were in his chest, seeping with blood. That's all I have on the matter. Okay, so I think it's here. Bears no fingerprints came. Okay. Okay, maybe not there. He's in a chair with 2 knife wounds. He's not mentioning the knife. Oops. Let's take a look at this. Where did this go? Okay, that wasn't the right place to present it. Oh, insert funny catchphrase here. Yep. Just pretend I said a funny catchphrase right there in your brain and then chuckle and chortle to yourself at home. Entered the office. Oh, wait a minute. Hang on. Closed behind you. I suppose... Actually, no, wait a minute. Didn't move from the doorway. Hold on. Wait a minute. So if he's in the doorway here, right? How did the door close behind him? Nuh-uh. I don't buy it. What? No. Yeah, that... What? What the freak? Okay, so probably right here. No, that's not right. Thank you, One Jade Zombie. Thank you for joining the stream. I'm glad you had a good time. Couldn't see much. Chair with 2 knife wounds. Seeping with blood. Let's try pressing. Let's see what happens when I do that. We determined that in the previous testimony. I imagine it's because you stood there in shock as the door closed? Yeah, I was just paralyzed with fear. I essentially couldn't move. I, however, didn't move from the doorway, so I couldn't see much. You mean you couldn't see some of the other parts of the office? Yes, I only saw what you could see from the entrance. Hold on a minute. You didn't examine the entire room? Yes, that's what I've been saying. If you claim to have not seen the whole room, it's possible someone else was in there. Enough of the theories, Corty. There's no proof that there was someone else in the office when Robbie walked in. Even if that's true, they would need to scan out in order to leave the room. That's not entirely true. They could just slip through the open door that Robbie used to leave. I imagine you didn't look behind you when you left the scene, right, Robbie? No, I didn't actually. It's possible someone left the scene when I did as well.
Do you have a name for the person that you believe was in the office?
As a matter of fact, I do, Your Honor. Mr. David Lockster. There is no evidence against the man. Actually, there is, Prosecutor Dwyer. Did you forget Patrick's testimony? He said he saw no one leave the office from 2:18 to 2:45. Yet here in the scanner report, it says Mr. Lockster left the office at 2:20. It's possible he just scanned his ID and stayed in the office. He made us think that he left the office when he really just stayed in there. He waited for someone to find the body, and he easily slipped out when Robbie left. Well played, Corty.
Am I to understand that we will have to call another witness to the stand?
It would appear that we may need to, Your Honor. Dwyer, stop trying to incriminate Robbie when there's possibilities it was someone else. Shut up. I don't care about your theories and your possibilities. I just want this trial to end with the culprit in bars.
I believe we will need a brief recess. Hopefully, this will be the last one. Court is adjourned for 15 minutes.
Oh boy, 15 minutes. Just enough time for a cheeseburger. Everything seems to be going according to plan. I've managed to stall the trial for another recess. However, I think this is all the time I can really buy. I've already gone through 3 witnesses, now going on 4. The judge won't let this trial go on much longer. Hey, Robbie. Hey, Corty. I've been meaning to ask you something. What's your motive? If you claim to not know me, why are you helping me like this? And with the skills you have, I can certainly tell you've done this before. I'm just a simple lawyer, nothing more. You expect me to believe that? I've put the pieces together, Corty. Then why don't you explain to me why I'm defending you? You needed to get Dwyer out of hiding. And if that's the case, then he really must have been the one to cause the vanishings. Yes, Dwyer is the one to have caused the vanishings. All of it's true. How Prosecutor Evans and Prosecutor Corty tried to stop him. I told him of the stones and told him to follow my plan with them. He, however, didn't follow it and set out on his own plan. When he realized Evans and Corty were getting in the way, he snapped and caused the vanishings. What was the plan you told Dwyer to follow? I wanted him to collect the stones to prevent the divorce he was going to go through in the future. This divorce would put him in a mental state that would ruin him. Quirp, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream, everyone. The creator of the hit song Girthquake is in the chat. Can we get some clapping emoji, some applause in the chat that such a legendary composer has joined us today? I was simply looking out for his future, but it obviously backfired. There is so much bullshit all over your screen? What do you mean? What's all over your screen? So you are saying you are me from the future, correct? Yes. I came to this year to prevent the divorce. Oh, it's the app? I have never used the Twitch mobile app for anything other than manually hosting other people's streams while I'm on the go. So I have no idea what that experience is like. I am so sorry for your loss. I see. Very interesting. Then I just have one more question. Who are you, really? I'm a good friend of Dwyer's, and the path he went down was too much to bear.
The trial is resuming soon.
Good luck, Corty. I'll try my best, Robbie. This is it. The final battle. I'll try to buy more time for you. August 16th, 2021. I don't know, Sam. Are these quote-unquote real people in your life?
Hello. Court is now back in session for the trial of Mr. Robert Stephens. Before we left, we were hearing the testimony of the defendant. This brought up the possibility that the person that entered the office before the victim stayed in the office and swiped his card, but didn't leave the office to make it seem he left. He then waited in the office and killed the victim when he entered. He waited for someone to find the body, and when they left, he then proceeded to secretly leave. Did I get that right, defense?
Yes, that has been my theory. The prosecution, however, doesn't believe this. There's too many what-ifs for this to happen.
That is why we are calling the person that entered before the victim to the stand. Bailiff, can you please bring him to the stand?
To my knowledge, all the assets used are from Ace Attorney. It's just like the story and the actual functions that have been made custom.
Currently an employee at Dwyer's law office. That man right there is my boss, and he better be surprised I still work there. What do you mean, witness? He once incriminated me for killing someone in a trial. I'll never let that down, Mr. Dwyer.
Noted, but that's in the past right now. Could you talk to us about the case? The defense wishes for it.
Yeah, I guess I can. Then, witness, please describe to us the events that happened.
Yes, Your Honor.
I left the office at the time the scanner report says. The bartender must be blind if he thinks he didn't see me leave. I left the building from its entrance afterwards and went home. The defendant and I have the same motive, and you have nothing conclusive. Unless you have something conclusive, this trial should end here.
Yes, this is so true. We are all a noodle sometimes. Huh. I imagine he means the secret business Mency had to do in the office. Regardless of what it was, it could be enough to kill for it. Is this the motive you were talking about, Mr. Lockster?
Yes, it was. Hey, Dwyer, do me a favor. Don't let that lawyer incriminate me like you did.
Luckily for you, David, I don't believe you committed the crime.
Defense, you may now cross-examine the witness.
Yes, Your Honor. Alright, let's see. Is there anything I haven't brought up? The time the scanner report says... Actually, let's try pressing everything first. So according to the scanner, you left the office at 2:20 p.m. You're saying that this is correct?
Yes, I left at that exact time.
Do you have any proof to back up that claim?
Yeah, the scanner report.
Well, yeah, I guess that works. The scanner report says he left at 2:20 p.m., so we have to assume that he in fact left the office.
That bartender must be blind if he thinks he didn't see me leave.
So you're claiming that the bartender, Patrick Dwyer, just didn't see you leave?
Yes, because I indeed left that office. If I didn't leave at that time, then the only time I could leave is when Robbie left. I would have just left when I killed him in that case. I wouldn't stay in the room. The witness has a point. Why would he stay at the scene of the crime?
Maybe he had to retrieve something that Mency had. But let me guess, you have no proof. Don't even try to go down that route, Corty.
I kind of like it too. I kind of like this voice too. It's a lot of fun. I don't think it's something I've ever tried before. I left the building from its entrance afterwards and went home.
I'm looking at the map right now. Which entrance are you talking about?
Not the front entrance, but the door that's further east.
Damn, I could have brought up that argument if he had gone to the other door. Patrick would have had for sure seen him then. Do you have any alibis to confirm this, Mr. Lockster? No, I do not. But I shouldn't need one. I'm not the defendant in this case. He has a point. This isn't getting anywhere. The defendant and I have the same motive, and you have nothing conclusive. You mentioned this before. You believe the motive Robbie had was obtaining the secret business Mr. Mency was working on? Yes, that's what I'm saying. So don't put the blame on me when he could have the same motive as I do. Well, you and Mency worked at the same place. Maybe you two had a bad relationship with each other. God, I love that Corti guy. I want to make out with him so bad. I mean, not my type, but go off, I guess. This is the real Corti. This is so awesome. I can confirm that these two had a good relationship at my office. I know my confirmation doesn't mean anything since I'm the prosecution, but it's the truth. Lies, I'm a hot chick. Whoa, Alex, let's cool the brakes here. There has to be at least one. Me and Mensei were not the closest, but I had respect for the man. The last thing I would want is for that man to die. I have a feeling I've heard that line before. Unless you have something conclusive, this trial should end here. I'm just doing my job, Mr. Lockster, defending my client. I'll applaud you for going through now 4 people at the stand, but this has to end. I agree with him. You've done better than I thought, but this trial is running dry. Accept defeat, Corti. Trying my best to buy time. I better find a contradiction soon. They're all in that Corti guy's bed. Okay, I think that checks out. Huh. I don't know if it's the floor plan. Pick a number. Let's go with 3. Sam, I think I'm gonna need a hint here. What piece of evidence do I need to use here? I've used this. I haven't used the kitchen knife. And I haven't used the floor plan or the autopsy record. Email? Really? Oh, I haven't even read this! Fellas, on August 16th today, I'm going to be at the office briefly starting at 2:45. Regardless, I don't want anyone to be there at this time. The work I need to do is pretty secretive. Now, regarding Saduel, I still don't know where he is, sorry. Therefore, I'm just going to give you the rest of the week off. You don't need to come in. Eagle, Matthew Mensei. This was sent to Dwyer, Lockster, Evans, and Renizeski. Building from its entrance afterwards and went home. Whoa, wait a minute. Whoa, wait a minute. It could have been Lockster that sent the email. I think I present this either at the very beginning or the very end. Same motive, nothing inclusive. I think it's this. Mr. Lockster, I want to understand something that you have tried to explain to us. You're saying that you and Robbie have the same motive? Yes, that is what I've been saying this whole time. That's strange, because that's not possible. It is 100% possible. The defendant could easily find out about Mency's secret work. I would have to disagree with you, Prosecutor Dwyer.
What are you trying to have us understand, Corty?
We have all seen this piece of evidence before, the email that Mency sent out. Mency says that he is going to work on something pretty secretive. But look at who the email was sent to.
It would appear Mr. Stevens' name isn't on the email list.
So that would mean that Robbie doesn't know about that information. In other words, he has no motive, and you do, Mr. Lockster. Damn it!
If what you are saying is true, Corty, then it's possible for Mr. Stevens to not have a motive.
Well, it's possible Mr. Stevens looked at that email from someone else. That's impossible. That email was sent out minutes before Mency's death. Then maybe that secret work he was handling wasn't enough for a motive. Weren't you the one that agreed it was, Mr. Dwyer, just a few minutes ago? Change of an opinion when you were at the lower hand? What? You dare! Your Honor, before we claim Mr. Lockster as a potential guilty party, I believe we need to figure out what Mr. Mency was doing in his room. Specifically, what was the secret work he was handling?
Do you even have a means of finding out?
I doubt he does. All we need to do is have access to Mr. Mency's computer. And would you be so kind as to log us into that computer? We don't know his password to his computer, dumbass. Sucks for you, because I do. What?
Where'd the witness go? Order! Order! Defense, what is Mr. Mency's password?
Eagle. That evidence can be found in the email he sent out. The email? Why would that have the password?
Corty, are you seeing something that we aren't?
I noticed something that when this was first submitted, some letters are capitalized and some aren't. If we focus on the capital letters, we actually get a word. Input that into the computer. No, this can't be. It spells Fortnite. No, it spells Fortnite. This is truly a terrible day.
Bailiff, notify the police at the scene right now this information. Tell them to input Fortnite into the computer for the password. Detective, any luck on Mr. Mency's computer?
Yeah, we had luck getting into his computer, and we managed to find the secret work that he was talking about.
Well, what was it? Was it enough to produce a motive?
Yes, but it could really only produce a motive for one person. Only one, and I can't see it any other way. Only one candidate? Who is it, Detective Polt? Mr. Samuel Dwyer. Holy shit.
What?
I refuse to believe this. There's no fucking way that you have evidence to give me a motive to kill my best friend. We do, Mr. Dwyer. My mind is set on that.
Detective, what evidence have you found?
Apparently, Mr. Mency was working on solving a murder case. That case is the unsolved case of the murder of Prosecutor Ryan Jones.
I remember that. One of our prosecutors was killed and we never found the culprit.
Mr. Mency was working on that case and found the potential culprit. That man being Mr. Dwyer. I've been watching Dwyer's actions for some time now. I already knew this, but I still can't believe he killed someone when they found out about his plan. The evidence that Mency had was information on Dwyer's handgun. I love Fortnite almost as much as I love drinking and driving. That is heresy. That is heresy. You are God. You know what? You're God's drunkest driver. I think I'm going to give you a pass on that one. Yes, I do own a gun. We found the gun in question in an office drawer.
Oh boy, court record.
We also found in that same drawer a written statement that is indeed Mr. Dwyer's gun. We did testing, and the bullet that killed Mr. Jones was confirmed to have come from this gun. I also have here the autopsy of Mr. Ryan Jones.
Are you serious, Detective?
Just because that gun was used doesn't mean I fired it. My gun could have easily been stolen, which is a common occurrence in our murder cases. This is hardly a motive. I never knew Mensei was trying to serve a murder he thought I caused. Thus, this case and the case he was looking into are not related. If you want me to come to the stand in that future case, then I will agree. But for this case, it's long overdue. I still don't believe Mr. Lockster committed this murder. There's no concrete proof.
I'm sorry, defense, but the prosecution is right. The evidence incriminating Mr. Dwyer has no relation to this case. It has been proven that Dwyer wasn't even at the scene of the crime during the murder.
Your Honor, I believe a verdict is requested. It's been a nice run, Corti. The defense request that this trial continues. I refuse to have the trial end like this. Tough luck, Corti, but it seems you have no other options. Just admit defeat, Corti. It's possible that Lockster could have still killed Mr. Mensei. Call him back to the stand. That will not help us in the slightest. Your theory has too many what-ifs that cannot be solved. Then we will just have to find a way to solve this mystery. Regardless, Robbie might not have had a motive, and you clearly have one yourself, Mr. Dwyer. Shouldn't we take your accusation into account? That is not necessary to the trial at hand. There is no correlation that it relates to this trial. You have no more evidence, Corti. This trial is over. This cannot be the end. I refuse to let this happen. Your Honor, I believe a guilty verdict for Mr. Stevens should be occurring soon. To think that you would even dare accuse me of killing my friend, Prosecutor Jones included. After this trial, I hope that your defeat in this trial is something you will long remember. Is there no one else that can help me? And what are you doing here?
It's him! He's here! It's Daniel! I forgot what voice I gave him. Long time no see, Mr. Dwyer. It would seem that we have matters to finish.
Prosecutor Evans, it's about time you showed up.
Sorry I'm late. I know you wanted me as a witness, but it would seem things have changed.
Yeah, Dwyer is a potential culprit, with evidence even saying he killed Mr. Jones.
I've pieced it all together. We can stop him here and now.
And how are we gonna do that? The judge is about to hand down the verdict.
We bring him to the stand and show that the evidence that was just brought forth is related.
That would mean that the two murders are related, which means Dwyer is at the center.
He's also been caught up in another murder that was never solved as well.
You mean Mr. Boehm, right? The case that you yourself were the defendant?
Yeah, we need to put him on the stand. Who knows when we'll get this chance again.
It would really help if Dwyer's partner were here. He could easily testify for the crimes Dwyer has committed.
Yes, it would certainly help, but Mr. Ranizeski sadly vanished when Mr. Dwyer snapped to banish every married couple.
He really crossed him, even when he was already blackmailing him for knowing the motive for killing his friend Monty. I'm sorry I stopped that trial back then, Mr. Evans. I will atone for the crime I committed with Dwyer.
I understand, but right now, we need to get Dwyer to admit that he committed all those crimes. You hear that, Dwyer? Get up on that witness stand.
Fuck it, I'll do what you say. How's the judge going to allow this?
It would seem the judge left the court. The bailiff said that the judge left because this court was a circus and that we handled this on our own. It's definitely not because this judge has no 3D sprites and animations.
Well, if Dwyer's going up on the stand, who will prosecute?
I will for this testimony. You ready for this, Dwyer?
I'm only doing this to prove you wrong, Evans. Is this what you wanted, Evans? Witness, state your name and occupation. Saduel Dwyer, divorce and defense attorney. Now, witness, we want you to talk about 3 murders in your testimony. Mr. Matthew Mensah, Mr. Ryan Jones, and Mr. Adam Boehm. No one found Mr. Boehm's killer, and if you killed him, that would give motivation for Lockster's revenge on Mr. Evans. And if you killed Prosecutor Jones, that would silence his knowledge of your plan with the divorce stones. I'll give you my testimony. Then go ahead, Mr. Dwyer. You claim I killed Mr. Mensah, Mr. Boehm, and Mr. Jones? Unbelievable. To think you would dare accuse me of killing my friend. Mr. Jones may have been shot by my gun, but I claim I didn't fire it. You put me in hiding, Evans, and once again you have no evidence I caused the disappearances. You have nothing that can tie me to these divorce stones and the vanishings. Mr. Evans, your accusation is based all on Mr. Boehm's case? There is no correlation between Boehm's death and myself. All right, let's see it. Innocence for the vanishings and all 3 murders you've brought up. I imagine you have no proof. And if you cannot come up with anything, then this will be the final testimony. Very well, Dwyer. It's all building up to this. If nothing is done now, then Dwyer's actions will never be brought to justice. As the judge would say right now, you may now begin the final cross-examination. All right, let's do it. Yeah, Mr. Jones, unbelievable. Ooh. Even you argued that it's too improbable that Mr. Lockster killed Mr. Mensah. However, as Detective Polt has shown us, there's evidence that creates a motive to kill your friend. While that may be true, Corte, I have evidence that proves I didn't kill my friend. Could you please elaborate, Mr. Dwyer? I have witness testimony that confirms I left the restaurant early in the morning. The scanner report also confirms this as fact. It's confirmed from both testimony and the autopsy report that Matt was alive after I left the restaurant. Is that all, Mr. Dwyer? I'm a lawyer, Mr. Evans, so no, I have more. We all discovered while in this court Matt's password for his computer. I didn't know his password to his computer. And before you say objection, I have proof I didn't know it. How do you have proof you didn't know Mr. Mensah's password? I was in hiding, Corte, remember? Apparently, while I was gone, password resets took place on the computers in the office. So even if I knew Matt's password before hiding, he had to change it regardless for the password reset. I guess that makes sense. I didn't kill my friend, and I didn't know he thought I was involved with the death of Mr. Jones. I am curious, though, as to why he hid the password to his computer in the email he sent out. It's almost as though he knew he would be killed off and someone would need it. Mr. Jones may have been shot by my gun, but I claim I didn't fire it. No fingerprints. The gun is legal ownership under my name, Saduel Dwyer. Damn, I'm not sure what to do here. I don't buy that. You obviously killed Mr. Jones to silence him for his knowledge of your plan to wipe out all married couples. And as I just said, I claim I didn't fire the weapon killing Mr. Jones. There's no fingerprints on that gun last time I checked. While that's true, it was still your gun that killed Mr. Jones. Prosecutor Evans, a few words if I may. Go ahead, Mr. Dwyer. Remember when I defended you in court and the murder weapon was your knife and you claimed you didn't kill Mr. Boehm? What's the difference here? Fair point, Mr. Dwyer. I'll give you that. But you cannot deny that you should be the prime suspect. I will admit, yes, that I should be the main suspect. But if there was not enough evidence for you to be considered guilty, then there isn't enough for me as well. Speaking of which, last time I checked, you still have no right to be considered a prosecutor after that trial. Surely the judge would want to have a word with you after this. Not unless we prove that you killed Mr. Boehm and not I. Put me in hiding, Evans, and once again you have no evidence I caused the disappearances. From what I understand, Mr. Evans claims he was there when you caused the vanishings. That is indeed what happened. While me and Dwyer were fighting, Dwyer's partner Zach was fighting with Prosecutor Corti. For this clarification, this is not that Corti over on the defense bench. Now that I think about it, where is Prosecutor Corti? We don't know where his whereabouts are. Moving on, although Prosecutor Corti beat Zach, I unfortunately lost my battle with Dwyer. He then proceeded to snatch the gauntlet from my arm and snap his fingers, causing the vanishings with the divorce stones. And just like that, Zach vanished, Judge Madigan vanished, and even Captain America vanished. And then you, Mr. Dwyer, went into hiding. I again claim that none of this happened, and you again have no evidence. Once Evans over there spread his lies to the public, I had no choice to go into hiding. I really wish we had something to contradict him. You have nothing that can tie me to these divorce zones and vanishings. Mr. Evans, your accusation is based all on Mr. Boehm's case. There's no correlation between Boehm's death and myself. We don't even have anything on Boehm. Since Dwyer over here is saying he knows nothing about them, could you elaborate, Mr. Evans? With pleasure. These stones had the power to do anything relating to divorce or marriage. Once you collected them all, a simple snap of the gauntlet would carry out your wish. I heard about these stones in the courtroom from a conversation I was listening on. I believe you were talking about the conversation Dwyer and I were having during the trial of Mr. Daniel Gubser. Yes, I am, and even Mr. Jones caught a glimpse of the conversation. It would make sense that once Mr. Dwyer found out about this, he would silence him. It does indeed make sense. After hearing this conversation, I went out and divorced the people mentioned that would give a divorce stone. However, Dwyer sent out Zach to get 2 of them, making sure that I would never have all of them. And when you found out about this, you challenged him, and that resulted in the vanishings. That's quite the fairy tale you made up. You should write about that plot in your creative writing class. Even better, you could make an entire game based on that plot. Right about now is the time that I would look at the camera, like, you know, in like The Office or a game or something like that. Who is blowing up my phone right now? I'm working on it! I'm working on it! I'm working on pressing the A button faster. Go work on it. Mr. Evans, your accusation on... You were there as a defense lawyer for the trial, correct? Could you give us a recap of what happened? I don't have to do anything of the sort. All right then, Mr. Evans. Could you give a recap of what happened? You were there as well. I was the defendant of that trial, and the murder weapon was my knife. Mr. Lockster then became a suspect in the matter, but he ended up saying he was blackmailed to be there at the scene. He still claimed that he did not kill Mr. Boehm, and thus the trial ended with the case unresolved. You say that Mr. Lockster was blackmailed? I wonder if he still has the blackmail letter that he received. As a matter of fact, I do. I asked for it when he was in the lobby when I arrived. I sorta knew he would probably need it. Oh. The handwriting is going to be the same as the statement that's saying that it's his gun. gonna be the handwriting. It's gonna be the handwriting. I know it. It's gonna happen. No! Oh, God damn it. Sam, I am so lost right now. There's so much happening right now. This. Let's pull this out. Oh, I guessed right. I just guessed right. Okay. We've got you now. Elaborate, Corti, because you have got me quite confused. I want you to remember what it was like to be the one on the defense side. Members of the court, I would want you to take notice to the blackmail letter. In it, we can see the usual message left by the sender. In this letter, we see the potential killer telling Miss... Okay, this voice is killing my throat. I need to talk normally. However, if we look at the statement that was in Dwyer's drawer containing his gun, we will notice a similar marking in both of the papers. Elaborate to the court what you mean by this, Corte. On both of the papers, there's a symbol at the top left of the papers. Because of this, we can assume that the source of these papers came from the same place. The paper that had the ownership statement was in Dwyer's office. In the other words, the blackmail letter came from Dwyer's office. Because of all of what I just laid out, it would be safe to say Saduel Dwyer sent the blackmail letter. That's not enough proof. That's a simple happenstance. I disagree, Mr. Dwyer. It's safe to say that the blackmail letter came from your office. You made this letter and gave it to Mr. Lockster, knowing that he would find the body of Mr. Boehm in the lobby. With the body in place, Dan would find the body as well, only to be seen by Mr. Lockster. This would then cause revenge against Mr. Evans, causing him to get his papers null and void. You knew that Dan was collecting stones, and this was your one chance to stop him. You killed Mr. Boehm to stop Dan from collecting any more divorce stones. Even if that is remotely true, that killing has nothing to do with this trial. I disagree, Mr. Dwyer. This creates motive to silence or stop anyone hindering or knowing your plan. Mr. Jones knew of this plan, and when you found out, you killed him with your own gun. Mr. Mensah must have found out about this and did research to learn more about your motives. You could simply have found out about this, and he became the next target on your hit list. I already said this. I did not kill Mr. Matthew Mensah, and I have given you proof that I didn't. Interesting how you didn't object to what Corti said about killing Mr. Jones. Everything you two have said is purely based on theory. The letter coming from my office and from me, to Lockster finding Dan at the body, to me firing at Jones, to me killing my friend. This is all baseless conjecture. This trial is over if nothing concrete is presented. Damn it. I have nothing that is concrete. Is this it? Did we just lose? It would seem we're all out of options, but I don't think that's true. I figured it out, Corti, and I'm sure our defendant Robbie has figured it out too. So go ahead and tell Dwyer what you really want to say to him right now. What is he talking about, Corti? It would seem that the time has come. The final evidence to present to the court is right here. The evidence is my ID. Your ID? What's it gonna say? Just Corti? Let me see that. This cannot be. What is the meaning of this? What does it say, Mr. Dwyer? It says, Mr. Saduel Dwyer. It would seem like the truth has been revealed. I am indeed Saduel Dwyer, more specifically, Saduel Dwyer from the future. You? You are me? You look nothing like me. This can't be true. Sorry, Dwyer, but it is. I'm simply changing my appearance. I traveled to the past to try to get you to collect the divorce stones, remember? Yes, you talked to me during Gubser's trial back in 2020, my first trial. You were essentially blackmailing me to blackmail Mr. Renizeski to work with me. You said I would need him to help get the divorce stones. I knew Zach's motive because he couldn't live with the guilt. In the future, that is. Zach's motive for killing his friend Monty was because he lied to him about liking pie in the 2nd grade. You can't make this shit up. That was his motive? That's a nice motive, all right. Regardless, I needed you to collect the stones to prevent a divorce you were going to go through in the future. You, or rather I, couldn't live with it, so I traveled back in time to prevent it from happening. Things obviously derailed. Regardless, you still have no proof, even if you arm me from the future. Quite the opposite, actually. I'm literally you, Dwyer. I've been watching your acts for quite a while, and let's just say, they aren't good. We killed Mr. Gubser, you killed Mr. Jones, you killed Mr. Boehm, and you killed every married person. I don't think the court will overlook these issues. I have just one question for you then, Saduel. Before you ask, I'm not going to reveal anything about the future. Be honest with me, because the knowledge you have, you must know the answer. Who killed my friend, Matthew Mency? Matthew Mency, your friend, killed himself. I'm calling you right now. Committed. Yep, there it is. I knew it. He took the knife from the kitchen, and he killed himself in the video game. Okay, I confess. I confess for everything. But first, tell me why Mency did it. Mency sacrificed himself for you to come out of hiding. I met with him a few days before he died, and we discussed how to get you to come out of hiding. Mency was willing to sacrifice himself just to stop you. I knew everything even before going into the trial. Then why didn't you just say that from the very beginning? Because as our mentor would always say, never reveal everything right away. I confess to the court. I killed Mr. Gubser, I killed Mr. Boehm, I killed Mr. Jones, and I killed all married couples. In a video game. I'll give back the gauntlet, and you can snap everyone back. I love snapping! I'm doing it right now! Well, it would seem everything here is over with. The judge still doesn't have any 3D sprites, so I'll say it. The court is now adjourned. And with that, Evans and I produced a dramatic court case, just like Mency would have liked. Dwyer went to the city jail and confessed every crime he committed. Prosecutor Evans snapped all couples back later that day, and it would seem everything was back to normal. Judge Aidan Madigan reunited with his brother Owen Madigan. Prosecutor Evans apologized for the divorce he had with his son, that it was only for the divorce stone. I asked Dan later why he was going for the stones, and his reply was just that he wanted to, nothing more. Zach and Jack Frost returned as well, but they didn't stay together for long. Because of Dwyer's confession, Zach was turned in for killing his friend Monty, which he said he regretted. Robbie thanked me and said that if I ever needed anything, he would always be there for me. Remember to do that in the shower? Yes, that's called good hygiene. And with that, I could tell my journey was coming to a close. Oh yeah, reminder, you have to let the water flow through or else it's for nothing. It's the Flintstones' house. This is where I told him to meet. You must be the person I'm meeting with. It would appear I am. Do you know why I called you here? Yes, we need to find a way to bring everyone back and stop Dwyer. Bingo, right on the money. After Dwyer snapped, he went into hiding. Prosecutor Corte, and Prosecutor Evans told the world of who was responsible. Some believed them, and some didn't, but there was no proof. Regardless, even after a few weeks, Dwyer hasn't been found. He needs to come back to the courtroom. And from there, we need to expose him right then and there. Why should I trust you? Aren't you the person that told him about the stones in the first place? Unfortunately, yes, I really shouldn't have. However, I didn't picture this happening, so this is all my fault. Okay, well, first things first. What is your name? I'll go by Corti. But you aren't Prosecutor Corti, are you? No, I'm not. It's just an alias. I'm not giving away my real name. Fine, but how are we going to stop Dwyer? I have a plan, but it's risky. It'll just have to work. All right, first things first. What are you willing to do to bring Dwyer back? I'm willing to sacrifice myself to bring him to justice. And will you want to exactly do that? Dwyer is my best friend, and I want to make sure that I help him. And this seems to be the only way. Okay. Thank you for your sacrifice, Mense. I will tell him what you just said. You've been studying his motives, haven't you? Yes, I've done some research, and I've found evidence that points him as the killer of Mr. Jones. And Mr. Gubser as well, with you helping him during that trial. I was there. I'm not that dumb. I know, and I will pay for my crimes as well. I'll send the information to you later. Actually, I have something better. Oh yeah? What's that? Send the password hidden in an email and make the crime seem like someone murdered you. Because of that, it would cause a murder trial that Dwyer will attend. Plus, we make it so not everything is revealed right away, just like you say. I like the way you think, Corti. Damn it. Before we talk about the plan, what about you? What will happen to you after this is all over? I don't know. I don't have anything to get back to the future. I'll probably turn myself in, and when I get out, I'll probably live the quiet life. Very well. Let's begin, Corti. Well, it would seem that that is the end of Saduel Dwyer's Divorce Papers 4. What a fucking experience. Videographer. There was videography in this? Sam, explain yourself. Credit song was made by Tyler Collender. Awesome, awesome. This does not answer my question, though. There's a behind the scenes. Where can people go to find this? Yes, this whole game was live action. This is exactly how it happened and exactly what you all look like. Extras tab. All right, well, we're not going to have time to go through that today. But definitely at some point during my next stream, I want to take care of that. Actually, I wanted to talk about that, actually. I do not yet have set in stone how exactly I'm going to structure it or what the goals are going to be. But I do know that Monday, December 19th, I'm going to start a subathon. So I will say right now, there are panels down below. There are links to my Twitter, links to my YouTube. I will be putting more details on both once I get those set in stone. Probably sometime later next week. So yeah, look forward to that. There's definitely going to be a section where we go through the first 3 divorce papers. Probably we'll be going over the behind the scenes as well. Let's see. Actually, I might have written down somewhere some of the ideas I've had, and we can go over some of those for while the credits roll out and we wait for the post-credit scene, because there is a post-credit scene. Hang on. Hang on, I'm responding to a DM right now. What are my thoughts, comments, and concerns? I don't really have a whole lot of concern. Well, actually, no, I do have a couple concerns. Mainly, first of all, there was that one bug that we had to get manually fixed by going through the registry editor. Two, I sort of feel like it's held back a little bit by your reliance on Phoenix Wright assets. I think you could really take this a hell of a lot further if you were able to get an art team put together, especially for Divorce Papers 5 or 6 if you make a 6. But I'm pretty sure 5 is the final one. You said that at some point. But yeah, I think if you... actually, yes, Divorce Papers dating sim, that would go hard. That would go hard as fuck. Make it like a match 3 style game, and I would play the hell out of that. I love match 3 style puzzle games. They are so much fun. But in terms of writing, I think it was really solid. The cases were put together really well. They really made you think outside the box. But at the same time, you also were able to sprinkle some like easier to figure out stuff, so it didn't feel like, oh, I'm racking my brain for every single one. You get a couple guaranteed, like, oh, boom, I've got this immediately. Okay, oh, I remember where I put it. I remember where I put everything. It's in here. Ideas. Okay, so here's what I have written down right now for potential sections of the subathons, like things I would be doing for sure. Well, not for sure, but things I would be like covering during the time. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. Oh my God, is that Seth Wheat? Is that 912 on YouTube.com? Oh my God, there he is. Finishing Inscription, playing through some not well known. Oh, post-credit scene. We'll talk more when we're done. What are you doing here? I had a few questions I wanted to ask. Well, go ahead. Not much I can do in here. How are they treating you in there? I've murdered 2 people, was an accomplice for another one, and killed all married couples. But Dan snapped them all back, but regardless, it's still a life sentence. Whatever happened to Zach? He's in here with me, but his sentence won't be long. He'll get out of here eventually. I do actually have one question for you, Mr. Dwyer. And what might that be? Pause? What, I'm not supposed to go through this? Escape? No! You did not just fucking burger me! This did not just happen. If it does not end up on my Twitch clips, I'm going to be so upset. I'm going to be so upset and mad because this is a peak Dare Hairstorm Twitch moment right now. This is amazing, and I'm so upset. Anyway. I cannot believe I just got an achievement for that. You knew something like this would happen, that you would be thrown in jail later down the line. I doubt you thought it would end like this. You had a backup plan, didn't you? So what if I did? You wouldn't need to know. Very well, then I'll leave. Good luck in there, Dwyer. All right, get back to your cell. We have more questioning for you. If my future self is still in this time, he's probably living far away. Quiet life. But I do wonder, where did he find out about the legend of the Divorce Stones? I'm assuming that will be a crucial plot point of Divorce Papers 5, which I am extremely excited for. So anyway, potential sections for the subathon. finishing Inscription because I need to finish that game. Playing through little known recently released itch.io games. I'm still trying to get a pool together for that. Playing through Sonic Forces, Pokemon Violet if I get my hands on a copy. Playing Smash Brothers with special guests. Playing Overwatch 2 with special guests. Playing Jackbox with guests. Among Us with guests. Playing through FNAF Security Breach. Playing through Outlast. Having a quote-unquote live dub of Corpse Party, sort of like in the same vein as I've done for my Deltarune and DDLC series on YouTube, and playing through Cuphead. What I have right now outlined for goals: doing an Undertale speedrun, doing a Sonic Generations speedrun, doing Smash Brothers with viewers, drunk Mario Kart, playing FNAF 3, Heisenberg cosplay, a live Feelin' a Bit Peckish food review in which I review the Impossible Whopper, shaving my beard, and destroying my vinyl copy of Weezer's Blue Album. So, if any of what I just said is of interest to you, be sure to stay tuned to my Twitter, to my YouTube, both of which are linked in the panels below. So like when I finally set all those in stone, you'll be in tune. You'll know what's going on. Give me a second. Let me see. Oh, you can see that. Oh no, not Firefox. Okay, let's see who we're gonna raid. If there's anyone worth raiding. Yeah, not the album. I saw Weezer's Blue Album in like the shelves of Target, and I thought it would be really funny if I bought it and then I listened to it and I physically could not finish it. It was so bad. It's the worst piece of music I've ever heard. Yeah, shaving my beard, that is definitely cursed. It has been a long time since I've ever been cleanly shaven. I'm definitely gonna set that really high up in the sub goals, so that if you want to see Babyface Steve, you're gonna have to work for it. So let's take a look. You know him, you love him. Akenshi HD, we gotta support him. He's playing Jump King right now. One of my favorite streamers on the platform. Everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. This stream ended up being a lot longer than I intended, but that's all right. I will see you for the subathon. Have yourselves a damn